Everyone, I'm Bean today, back with another video. For one, before I even start talking about what I'm about to do, I tried to attempt my makeup like James Charles did to Shane Dawson in his new video of the Jeffree Star series, but I don't have the same palette as them, so I did like a cheap version of what they did. So this is how it looks, where it's like, I didn't really have a very pigmented yellow, so I kind of used like a goldy yellow, and with blue on the under. I really tried, but I really like the way it turned out. It didn't turn out very bad at all. But today we're having a story time, and this is a time when I was in the hospital horror. Yes, so we're gonna be talking about that, my very scary nurse. So let's get right into the video. Okay, starting off, this was in September of 2016. I was 14 years old, so, oh yeah. So I'm talking about it. I remember I have this thing where it's a very long, complicated word. It just means that I have a open wound in my armpit, and when I sweat it gets really bad infected, and it gets a gland, which the gland ends up getting really big and can get into my bloodstream and make me really sick and can die from it if it's not treated properly. So medicine sort of helps, not always, and that's what I get almost every year and a half. It's just something I've had since I was 14, and they told me that I can grow out of it, but they really don't know if it will ever disappear, so that sucks. But that's besides the point. I was in there because it's the first time it had ever happened, and I didn't know what was going on. I couldn't even lift up my armpit. I couldn't lift up my arm. It hurt so bad, like when people had to pry it open, and I would just like be sobbing because it hurt so bad. So they touched it. Obviously, my doctor's like, okay, this is not normal, like, at all. So maybe we should take her to the hospital. So I was in the hospital. I was hospitalized for a week, and during that time I was just super sick. I got really hot, got really cold. Like, when the cleaning lady would come in, I would say, will you turn the air conditioning up? And it would like on like freaking 65, and I was just having a really high blood pressure. I was having a really high fever. I was just extremely sick and very unwell, and I had my surgery, I think, like the third or fourth day. And so I was like really sick, and I had this nurse who, she was really cool at the start. She was fine and everything, but as the time progressed and after my surgery, she just turned horrible. Like, like, I'm sorry, I'm like, my brain's freaking frozen. So she was really cool at the start, and I actually had her again this year. Like, not this year, yeah, this year when I got hospitalized again, and my mom was furiated about it. She was like telling them, like, she's not gonna be taking care of my daughter. She had a horrible time last time. She's not taking care of her this time. So that's how it was. And so I got surgery, I think like the third or fourth day of me being hospitalized, and it was emergency surgery. And I think it was like the third day. It was really very, very early in my staying in the hospital, the very early of it. And I had to go get emergency surgery because they realized how big it was, that if they would have waited any longer, it would have gotten my bloodstream and would have killed me, because how bad it was, how bad I was. And so I had to get packing. My second surgery having done was a lot easier, was painless, it was easy, because it was so bad. The first surgery sucked. It was so horrible. Like, I mean, it was like probably the worst pain I have ever felt. I've went through a lot of surgeries, I've been through piercings, I've been through a lot of pain, and I have a very high pain tolerance, but the fact that this hurt me so bad, it sucked. So when I had my surgery, I remember going in and like being rushed and everything. It was bad. And when they did the surgery, they had to drain it and pack it. Well, when they had to change my packing, the nurse told me, she's like, okay, so if it gets too overbearing, tell me to stop and I will stop. And I was okay. And she's pulling it out, and I'm like, stop, and I'm like blood curdling, screaming. The whole floor of this hall. Sorry, there's something really in my eye. This whole hospital floor can hear me screaming because I'm in so much pain. I kept screaming, stop, 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 and she wouldn't stop for nothing. My mom can't push her out the way or like tell her to stop because she wasn't listening. My mom, like, when she got done, I was bawling my eyes out because I was in so much pain because I told her to stop because this pain was so overbearing. Oh my god, like, I thought I was gonna faint because how much pain. And I know it sounds like I'm exaggerating, but I'm not. Like, this is the most pain I've ever felt in my whole entire life. And when I told her to stop, I honestly was about to faint because how much pain I was in, and I wanted her to stop immediately, and she just wouldn't. And there was a student nurse in there, and he noticed that, and he was my mom's witness when she went there. And after I saw my mom was completely ticked off. I was gonna say pissed, but completely ticked off, and went to her director, I guess, and was like, explain the whole situation. And she was actually not my nurse anymore. She was actually I'm pretty sure she was put on leave. Like, she couldn't, like, she was like suspended for a few days. She was not allowed to come to work because of what she did, because I told her to stop, and she hurt me so freaking much. My mom scolded her. It was bad, man. My mom was so ticked about what happened, and I never wanted to go back to the hospital or like go to this specific hospital because of that. It was like I wanted her to stop, but she just wouldn't listen, and I was in so much pain. And, the student nurse who was like, yeah, I was there, it was bad, she begged her to stop, and it just didn't work. And, I got a different nurse after that. All my nurses were really nice, but, like, after that experience, I hated it. And when I had her again this year, I was, like, very distant with her. I didn't want her kicking my blood. I didn't want her putting, IV in me because of what she did the first time. It, like, really, sorry, there's a current right here. She really messed me up, and that is my hospital story time. I don't like being in the hospital. I've always had problems, but it's just really messed me up. And I remember, this is gonna be a part 2. Like, my surgery, the second time of having it, I've had it like so far almost like every single year. Yeah, like this is my second time. So like a year and a half later, having my surgery again, or like 2 years. I don't know. Don't ask me. Oh my god, my eyeball. I'm so sorry. There's really something in my eye. Ah. And it was really easy. And the surgeon I had, she was really nice. She was a nice first. And so when I went to go get a checkup, because I realized it was coming back, and it was like really bad. Not like bad as the first time, but it was pretty freaking bad. And they couldn't just send me home meds. They really couldn't for this one, because the medicine they gave me was not working at all. So they had to do surgery. And I went to go visit them, and they're like, I'm sorry, I keep looking over here. I feel awkward talking ever directly at the camera. But they was like, have you ate breakfast? I was like, yeah, I have. So she's like, well, tomorrow we're going to have your surgery. And I was like, oh, okay. So my mom went home and packed me some clothes while I was in the hospital, burning up because they gave me a room with broken air conditioning. Okay, I don't know if you know this, but I live in Florida. And it is hot. And no matter what time of the year it is. The winter, still freaking hot. Christmas is 80 degrees here. You know what I mean? Like, it's hot all year round. Sometimes it's cool, but generally it's hot almost all year round. And putting in a freaking hot room, and I get hot very easily. Cold, if I'm cold, it's fine. But, like, I get hot so easily, and I get really aggravated when I'm hot. It's not a good time. So, it was just such a complicated situation. So, they ended up around, like, 1 in the morning. And this was in February, but 1 in the morning moved me to a different room. This room was huge, you know what I mean, man? This room was real big, real big. And I'm like freezing my boots off, but I'd rather be cold than freaking hot. Because when I'm hot, I'm like really irritable and ready to like bite someone's head off. That's how I am. So anyway, and the nurses had to keep putting like liquid in my veins so I don't get dehydrated, because after 12 a.m. I'm not allowed to eat or drink anything. That's what, I don't disobey them. I don't want to vomit or throw up, because that will happen. And I listen. I'm a good child. I'm not trying to get sick here. And, they blew like 2 of my veins. Like, and then like water started building up, and then I had when I went back to school after this, I had bruises all over my arm from like how many times they stuck me, because my arms are really sensitive to needles. And it doesn't hurt me because I'm always like, I have really deep veins, so it's really hard for me to get blood. And it's just they had to keep sticking me because my veins wouldn't cooperate. They never do. I'm freaking rude. And I go into surgery. It's 5 in the morning. There's people working. I get like no sleep. I'm very tired. And she comes in and tells me that I'm fat and that I need to lose like freaking 50 something pounds. And I don't have a fast metabolism. I can't say the proper word, but I don't have a fast one. I have a very slow one. So like my weight. That's my cat. Sorry, I was like, what is that white thing? So you know, it's really easy for me. It's very easy for me to gain weight, but it's very hard for me to lose weight, and I can't help that. And you know, just saying all this stuff right before my surgery, and my mom went off. My mom was very mad because, you know, as a teenager, you don't want to hear these things because you get really insecure anyway, because your hormones are going crazy. And you know, being told that kind of sucks, especially when you're about to have surgery. You're not supposed to be stressed, and I was, because she was stressing me out. But I was only in the hospital for like 2 days, which was great. And so everything went pretty well after that. I didn't see her. I don't see that surgeon anymore. I see my other surgeon that did my surgery the first time. I like him. He understands me. He knows not to like stress me out before surgery. Really easy, real quick, and I ended up going home like a few hours after my surgery. And yeah, so that was my like horror story the first time, and my horrible surgery the second time. They all like work around the same hospital, so that's why I call it the hospital horror, because like every time I go to this hospital, freaking sucks. Oh, and like I'm gonna tell you like a little short story, even though this one's the video's already pretty long. But when I was going for my second surgery, when I went to the hospital, the guy said there's nothing wrong with me. So I just thought I should tell you that. And then I went to see my surgeon that morning. She's like, there's something very wrong with you. So yeah, I'm sorry this video is kind of long, but I want to kind of make it up for not filming last Friday. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. If you don't mind, like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys, what is today? Monday. Alright, bye!